want to look at Parshas Veschanan, the Ben Ish Chai. It's his introduction is a little bit long, and maybe we could do it all, and maybe we could get to the halachos tomorrow. I don't know, maybe. This is a tremendous piece of Torah for me. So he starts like this. This is on page Reish Olamad Vav. He says, "V'shamarta as a mitzvah as a chukim." He's quoting the pasuk in this week's parsha. So that you have to guard the mitzvahs and the chukim, the ordinances. He's going to explain the mishpashtim and the mishpatim that I am commanding you today. It seems to me, he says, the Yiduya Taryag mitzvahs heim shlosha minim. There are 3 types within the 613 mitzvahs. Yesh nekroim chukim. There are some that are called chukim she'ein lechem tam ve'ein masechel mechayel b'sam. So there's these. A chok is something that the mind cannot grasp the reason for it, and also there's no obligation to get. You don't feel that you need to do this. Yesh nekroim mitzvahs b'stam. Then there are things. There are other rules that are called mitzvahs, just mitzvahs. Sheyesh lechem tam. They have a reason. You could see why. But on the other hand, you don't really see the need for you to do that. You could see there's something holy, but you don't see yourself compelled. That if Hashem didn't commanded us to do it, then we wouldn't feel an obligation by our own thinking. And then there are also rules that are called mishpatim. What's a mishpat? It's a judgment. So this is something that has a good reason. And our mind can tell us that it's really something important for us to do. That even if Hashem didn't tell us, we would figure it out ourselves, and we would understand this is something we have to fulfill. So moving on. So it's impossible for everybody to actually do all 600 mitzvahs, 630 mitzvahs. But through your thought, or you're sitting and you're looking, that if a time comes that this mitzvah will come to me, I'll be able to do it. I'm ready. So that God willing that I should be able to have this mitzvah before me, and I would do it. So if a person has that attitude, if we don't do karbanos anymore, for example, that was a possibility, you would do it. If you were prepared to do it, that's as if you did it, he says. So therefore, on one day, sheyakayim is called the target mitzvahs because you want to, if you could. So therefore, you're able to fulfill all the 613 mitzvahs. I'll call mitzvah, even if you didn't think about every mitzvah, you went down the line of 613. So this is the same kind of the language that we saw, and where it says that I keep the mitzvahs. It's a language that his father kept this thing. That a person is looking out just in the concept that if the chance comes for him to do the mitzvah, he'll do it. So then he said, now what about that type of mitzvah, which is called a chok? And also that which is called a mishpat. The Elohim klalos called target mitzvahs. So these different things, the mitzvahs, the chokim, the mishpatim, this is the klal. If you're ready to do all of those, this is the klal of the 613. So in this, even on today, if you're ready to do them, that you get a profit, you get a benefit from this. That is on only one day. As if you actually did it, it's considered that to be for you as if you actually did it. Now, this is a general idea of how he's going. He took these 3 parts, and let's see, he's going to take another 3 in a different way and take it as something I think is fantastic. Nimsa the Taryag mitzvahs heim shlosha minim and nikroim mitzvahs v'chukim mishpatim. So we see that the mitzvahs are divided into these 3 categories of mitzvahs, chukim, and mishpatim. Kasher peret asam a kosov kan, like we saw, it was specified. So corresponding to these three different types of mitzvahs, Hashem has given us three different types of benefits that we get. So one is the pleasure that one gets from taste. That we find in the mouth. And the next one is good smells, sweet smells, smell of perfume and incense and roses and so on and so forth. All of this is good for the nose, but this corresponds to something, a second element. The third one is the ability to be able to see what your sight does for you. That is the goodness that is in a person's eyes. And both of them, all of them are commanded in this physical world. But the main benefit that a person gets in this world is drinking and eating and drinking, which is the lowest part of the areas that he said. So what did he say? He said the mouth, the nose, and the eyes. So he says this is the lowest part. When a person leaves this world, when your time in this world is over, then you will lose the ability to be able to taste because you won't have a body anymore. And you'll be in a place called Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. And in that place, the hanoah that the neshama gets is from reich, from sense. Ki sham began Eden tachton tislavish nefesh beguf mamish, because there he says that ki sham began Eden tachton, in the lower Gan Eden, that the soul is residing within the body. Aku chomer zak she'enu tzarich la'achila v'shtia, but it's a kind of a physicality. The next world, the immediate next world from this, which would be, let's say, Olam Yitzira. Just say, for example, that world also has physicality to it, but that physicality is very, very light. It's very refined. So how do you keep that physicality going? By the benefit that physicality gets from smell. Smelling something beautiful. This is what you have in the lower world of Gan Eden. The lower Gan Eden is that the power that it has on the physicality of a nefesh is in smell. So he has a sefer that he wrote, which is Rad Pa'alim. This is the reason why they have this custom in Baghdad. The inheritance of the inheritors of a person who passed away. They bring mevradim, that's rose water, o shoshanim are roses. O mini osavim, different kinds of sweet herbs, sheyesh lechem reich tov, that have a sweet smell. V'ochasim osam v'omdim b'pasav beis HaKnesses, and they hold on to them. They stand at the entrance to the shul. Kadesh yivaruchu haniknasa v'yotzim, so now that there should be a blessing, that people should say, Borim Menei B'samim, on when they're coming in and they're going out of the shul. Gam darchel nahachzer l'sam al kol hakachel sheyivarach aleichem, and then they pass them around for everybody in the congregation to smell them. What a nice custom. U'mishtadlim the zakos as the rabbim tami beboka ve'era bebrachazul. So they're always trying to make an effort to bring it possible for people to make this bracha and to get the benefit of this bracha. Shalareich besok shnei ma'aser chodesh, through the 12 months of the mourning. Because we know that the nifter, the person who's gone, is in the Gan Eden Atachton during those 12 months. The Sham Nehena V'nizon Min Hatov, because there, what he actually is building himself up from, and what keeps him going is good reach. So therefore, that helps him. This bracha that people make on a sweet smell, Baruch Menei B'samim, that you make that helps tremendously for people in the next world. Gam yesh tam b'pirchas hareich The menuchas nefesh and nifter. So this also adds to the comfort of the soul of the person who passed away. That even when a person was physically alive, standing in this world, yesh hanoah al neshama min hareich. His neshama would get hanoah from the reich. Like the rabbis say, al pasuk call her neshama to Hallel Ka, that all neshama should give praise to Yud Kei. Ezu davar should neshama nehenizbo. So tell me something that we have in physicality that is good for the neshama. Zeh hareich, that smells. Those are scents. Those are beautiful fragrances. V'ha b'ha talia. So this is what it depends on. That in this world, the neshama is able to get hanoah, benefit from a good smell in this world, because this becomes a sustenance or a food for this soul in the next world, Began Eden. So in that sefer, the road that he wrote, Rav Pe'elim, that he wrote, so he says a custom that they had. So he says that I brought up, he says in as an answer, to those people who would go to a Beis Avel, Adam Omed Samach LePesach Biyado Kli Mevradim, and so then he would have rose water in a vessel. He was standing at the door, the entrance to the Beis Avel, so that when people left, they could make this bracha. So you don't worry about this because of what's written in the Shulchan Aruch, in Yoredei and Siman Shin Ayin Ches Sif Ches. The Hasam I read the Haviv Lifnecha Yoshvim Etzala Adam B'Samin. That is where that you're sitting, the people sitting around, and you're bringing it next to the person who's mourning. Or he would bring incense that was in. They used to put incense in with hot coals, and they drop powdery incense on it, and make a beautiful smell throughout the house. Because that's not something you would do for a person who's actually the mourner. Which is different from a person who has a vessel that has rose water in it. A base who's outside near the base of Avel. Then every individual who's coming and going to the base of Avel, that will be able to do this. Because now they understand that this is something that they're doing for the nefesh of the person who passed away. And now we're worried about, we're molesting in some way, or defaming the person who is in Avelus. Now he said, now so there's a Gan Eden Tachton, and he just described it. It sounds like to me, it's like a bit Olam Yitzira. It's a different, this is not a physical world like our physical world, but it is physical, but there's another level. There, in this world, the neshama gets all of its pleasure from sight. That when it looks at the radiance of the Shekhinah, that is, that when the neshama in the Gan Eden Elyon is able to actually see the ziv, the rays of the Shekhinah. So the bracha olam haba ve'ein bo echila v'shtia. This is a place where there's no eating, there's no drinking. El tzaddikim yoshvim v'yitrosechem b'roshechem. But we see like this: is that the tzaddikim are sitting in this upper world, and they have their crowns upon their heads. V'nehenim miziv shchina. That's a quote. That's a quote for the Gemara over there in Brachos. And they get joy and benefit from the radiance of the Shechina. And what is this benefit, this hanoah that they get? They get it from their eyes. So therefore Hashem created within us, or tied to those things which He created in us, peh, a mouth, chotem, nose, for reach, and an eye that could see, going up the chart. So the mouth is corresponding to this world, the nose is in the Gan Eden Atachton, and the eyes are in the Gan Eden Ayelyo. One is higher than the next. So we have one thing after another, that all of the different levels of benefit that the person gets from them, and the top one would be Re'iyah, seeing. So he has a pasuk that he's translated over here. It's Ben Porus Yosef. So he says he's a son, a fruitful son is Yosef. Ben Porus is word fruitful again, Ale Ayin, as the well comes up. Ki Tzaddik Nikra Yosef, because the tzaddik is always called Yosef. Derek Sha'amar Rabbi Sender Zechron V'Rocha, like the rabbi said, is a Gemara in Shabbos. Talmidei Chachamim calls the man Shemazkinim. Talmidei Chachamim is as they are getting older. Data mit nitosefes aleichem. Their mind grows. It's growing on them. It's gathering together and pulling itself together. V'acha olam hazeh. And then after this world, hu bein poras began Eden. Then this person is a fruitful son in the next world. Sheyesh lo chen mechudash b'hana'asa dehiyos nizun, because that person has a renewed sense of sustenance, because he's able to get sustenance from reach, from just the beautiful sense of the next world. But after this beautiful place, this gracious place there, Od yesh lo chen nosef, he gets a different types of chen, a different kind of, he uses the word chen, which means grace. Ben Porus ale ayin. So this is the Ben Porus that goes up to the, now he's to translate, instead of like I translated well, he translated the eye. Ayin is an eye. She had nizon v'nehene bebrias ayin, so that the person will get sustenance and he'll get benefit from what he sees with his eyes, and we're talking about spiritual eyes now. But the spiritual eyes of the eyes of this world are tied to the eyes of the upper world. And also this is the ultimate purpose of the pleasure that a person should get from the Chanoah in this world. So the person has to be very careful in this world about a flaw that he can create in his eyes. And this is more important than all the rest of a person's limbs. Yamki call aver shachetach. So we know this from Sharuch HaKodesh, going into great detail on this, is that every single limb that a person does damage to, that is spiritual damage, hinehu pogem kenegdo be'aver shel nishma. So it also, because the neshama is actually, it's panimi to all of these things. So if you mess up one aspect of your physicality, it will affect your neshama in that place as well. And since the ultimate thing that a person could do would be the soul that's related to his eyes, so therefore a person has to sanctify and to purify his eyes in this world. That's more than everything else that you do, to watch what you do. So let's see what he says about this. So this is a story about Rebbe Masya, Choresh, who was a carpenter. So he brought this particular this piece of Torah. Medrash Abkir. So I don't know these things. This is the Bialkut Shmoni. This I'm not familiar with, but I'm just quoting. This is what he says. Rebbe Masya ben Choresh, Yoshe bebeis of Midrash v'Oiseh. So he's sitting in the base of Midrash and he was learning Torah. The radiance that was coming from his face was similar to the sun. And the actual glow, the image of his face, was like the image of the Malachi Asharis, the ministering angels. Because in his whole life he never really looked at a woman. So one time the Satan came by and he was jealous of him. Is it possible a person like this man, he never sinned? They said before Hashem, Rabbi Masya ben Choresh, what is he before you? Hashem said, Ahmed Tzaddik Gomor, who is a complete Tzaddik. He said to him, Tain li rishus v'asi sandal. Give me permission, I'm going to give him a good test. Amalo ein ata yachulo, you're not going to be able to overcome him. Ba'afal pikein lech, but even so he went. Chalak v'nin b'lo ke'isha yafer shalo hoya gedemuzach v'chol b'mos na'ama achos tubul kayin. So he says, brought before him a woman who was so gorgeous. She was more gorgeous than any other woman, with the exception of Naama, which is also a name that's over there in the Kali. Then Naama, who was the sister of Tubal Cain, this says that the sister of Nidbel Kibos Naama, Achus, to the sister of Tubal Cain, Shatol ba Malachim Anephilim. So we have the Malachim that fell and became the Nephilim. And she was able to seduce all of them. But the fun of, so he says, so once he saw this, he turned his face to the side. The side small, and he went to his left side, looked to his left side. And then he turned his head to the right. And he kept moving from side to side. As Rebbe Masya said, so now, because he's in the throes of this, he's saying, I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to stand up to this, that my Yetzer will overcome me. Also, he called the Talmud that was working with him. So bring me a fire, I'm going to blind myself. And he brought it. So he set it on fire, and he put it to his eyes, and he became blind. Look, when the Satan saw this, he trembled, and he went and fell backwards. At that moment, Kodesh Baruch Hu called out, and he said to the Malach Raphael, who is the Malach of healing, Lech v'Rafe es Masya ben Charish, go, heal Masya ben Charish. So he went and he stood before him. So he said to him, who are you? Raphael. He says, I'm a Raphael. Hashem sent me. Hashem sent me to heal your eyes. Leave me alone. Whatever happened, that's happened. So he went back to Kodesh Baruch Hu. So this is what he said to me. In other words, he said, go away. Kodesh Baruch Hu. Or the Kodesh Baruch Hu then said to Lech ve'emelo. So you go back and you say to him, Ani Arev Shelo Yishlod Bo Yetzer Hara. So I'm going to make a pledge that you won't have any more problems with the Yetzer Hara. Miyad Rife also, and immediately he healed him. Ad kan because of a Rav Zechav V'Sham Medivrecha Mekubalim Zechav V'Zel. So now he quotes what the Mekubalim say. That wasn't enough. Rabbi Masya ben Charish. So this Rabbi Masya ben Charish, Choya Palti ben Laye Shalokach as Mikol Bashul V'Noetz Chevi Beina de Beina. This is a story. He says this is actually the neshama of a person who came back a second time, and this is a person by the name of Palti ben Layish, who took Michal, who was the daughter of Shaul, V'Noetz Chevi Beina de Beina, and he stuck a sword between the two of them. That whoever, I guess the idea is that nobody should pass by or not really, completely distance himself. Let me just see a little bit more what he said, and I'll tell you the story. Even so, it wasn't. He didn't have to hold her back. The he should have said the shul, "Ein ani rotze dikacho," so I didn't want to take her. So in a place where you're gonna make an avera over here, you don't say, "Look, you can talk back to the king." In this case, this is that the wives of my people, they should be sent away for the place of their enjoyment. Now, what this was about was that David the Melech. There was a question over there in the Gemara in Sanhedrin about David the Melech took two sisters. You're not allowed to marry sisters. So the story was, one of the sisters actually went to this Palti ben Laish. But Palti ben Laish didn't want to marry her. He didn't want to live with her. And so there she was, this beautiful woman, and he was in intimate circumstances with her. And so he went to this extent to put a sword between the two of them, that if nothing is going to happen here. And even though he didn't touch her, but even so, he looked at her and she was beautiful. Because he put his lies on something. He wasn't supposed to marry her. David was supposed to marry her. David the Melech. This is before David was the Melech, but Shaul is still alive. Because by him, that's where she sat, and that's where she lay. Now he wants to make now we're talking about this person who was what? The Masya ben Charish. The Masya ben Charish. That story, he came back in a Gilgal for that. But this Gagol Inyan Zechah the other Kadesh Yitzayir Atzmach of Yaver Einov, so that he should cause himself to suffer and blind his eyes. So therefore the Satan came and he tempted him. So he got a hold of himself. He didn't want to look at her eyes. These two people, they were both sparks from Yosef HaTzadik, Ad Kan Shano Yu and Sham. So this is a long piece here, and I would like to be able to do it a second time tomorrow, but I'm not sure I'll have time. But at any rate, this is a little shtickle of Torah that I think we all have to realize that we are human beings and we're made to reproduce, and as a result of that, we have a Yetzer Hara. Because if there's no Yetzer Hara, there would be no people. But unfortunately, that Yetzer Hara goes all over the place, and it's really inside of us and around us, and we can't keep it out, but we can fight it, and we can turn our backs on it, and we can let another breeze blow it away, as Rabbeinu HaKodesh said, and that's the basis of this. Let me say one. I don't think I have time to really do even one halacha. So this is it. It's 27 minutes, and thank you very much for listening.